Hi there, this is Datila, and welcome to the Tussling Time Post Show. It is Wednesday, June 12th, 2024, and tonight I'll be talking about AEW Dynamite. Alright, let's kick things off talking about blood and guts. So, tonight's Dynamite kicked off with the Swerve Strickland promo, and what initially started being a promo about him, or a segment about him, got interrupted by the Elite. And the Elite challenged the best of AEW in a blood and guts match. If you guys remember last time, in the build to Double or Nothing, you had Swerve Strickland after Double or Nothing, you had Swerve Strickland become upset because he wasn't a part of Team AEW when he's AEW World Champion. So for this, the Elite actually asked Swerve Strickland if he wanted to be their fifth member, and they even gave him their sneakers. But of course, he declined. So I'm very curious to see who's gonna beat the Elite's members. Elite's fifth members. I honestly think it could potentially be Hangman Adam Page. Hangman Adam Page has been MIA since Revolution, so I think he would be an interesting choice to be the fifth member of Team Elite. But let me know in the comment section or in the live chat who you guys think the fifth member is. Now, as far as Team AEW is concerned, I feel like it's going to be Swerve Strickland, possibly the Acclaimed, and then two other guys. Maybe that's when the Motor City Machine Guns would come in. You know, the Motor City Machine Guns finished up with TNA earlier this year, so it'd be really interesting to see if the two spots on Team AEW are the Motor City Machine Guns. I mean, it makes perfect sense. The Motor City Machine Guns have history with the Young Bucks, or as they were known back in the day, Generation Me. I've been asking for the Motor City Machine Guns to show up since they left TNA. But here's the information for Blood and Guts. It's going to be Wednesday, July 24th in Nashville, Tennessee, with tickets with the pre-sale taking place June 13th for anybody who is interested. So I think that's who it's going to be. I'd be really surprised if it's not the Motor City Machine Guns. I feel like it would make the most sense, at least in my opinion, it would. So the reason why I say the Acclaim is because after this, a brawl broke out and the Acclaim came out to help Swerve Strickland. So I do think it's going to be the three of them plus two more people. And I think that's when the Motor City Machine Guns are going to be added in. Or at least that's what I think. One of my favorite parts in this segment was, you guys know how you also think it's going to be them Motor City Machine Guns, right? It has to be. Who else would fit? Granted, I thought they were going to be part of the Anarchy in the Arena match. That didn't happen. So maybe it'll happen for Blood and Guts. And one of my favorite parts in this whole entire segment was when Okada tells Swerve Strickland, "It's his house, bitch." And that was the most hilarious thing. But this leads into the TNT title ladder match qualifier. It is Dustin Rhodes versus Jack Perry. Now, Jack Perry was upset because Christopher Daniels made this match. Homie didn't even have his gear. He was just dressed in regular clothes. And I thought this was a good match. Dustin Rhodes got busted open during this match. But Jack Perry was victorious. No shock there. So we get an Orange Cassidy, Mark Briscoe, and Kyle O'Reilly interview. And this is just your typical little interview. Mark Briscoe lost me during his segment. Dustin's always bleeding. That's true. He started talking about how the word of the day is conglomeration. And then he started going on a little rant and homie just lost me. I'm just okay, this is typical Mark Briscoe here. But I thought it was funny. And, we also find out that Will Nightingale has Orange Cassidy's back. Dustin doesn't bleed more than Moxley. That is true. I would see. We get a Toro Blanco Rouge versus Deonn Rusman. Okay, I was not a huge fan of this. I don't understand why Rouge is fighting a jobber here, or in the local talent, or an enhancement talent. I was not a huge fan of this. Rouge is already an established talent. This is not his debut in AEW. He doesn't need to be doing in these random matches. If you wanted to set up afterwards, like what happened afterwards, like you could have just had Rouge go out there and MJF attack him before the match even started. So like he insulted Deonn Rusman by calling him weak and then attacking him post-match. It was just a match to get Rouge some momentum heading into his match with MJF next week. That is true. So this brawl breaks out between him and MJF. Like they go backstage, and we find out next week it's going to be MJF versus Rouge, I guess, to kick off Dynamite, because there's not going to be any commercial interruption. So it's going to be a great match. I honestly feel like Rouge is probably going to lose, unfortunately, but I thought this segment was great, but I was just not a huge fan of the match. I was not. I guess, like Michael said, they wanted to give him some momentum. The brawl was the best thing on the show. I don't think it was necessarily the best thing, but it was one of the good things on the show. So we had Orange Cassidy, Kyle O'Reilly, and Mark Briscoe versus Konosuke Takeshita, Kyle Fletcher, and Roderick Strong. And I thought this was a really great match. Like everybody had a nice showing in this match. I really like that Slumdog Millionaire that Cassidy did to Kyle Fletcher, because like he tried to do another move beforehand, but Cassidy had countered it. But Kyle Fletcher gets the victory here. So Kyle Fletcher, Konosuke Takeshita, and Roderick Strong are all victorious. And like I said, this was a great match. I liked it. I don't know about anybody else. And then like after the show, Trent attacks Orange Cassidy and Willow comes out. But it was interesting. The Undisputed Kingdom were holding Kyle back. So there's a lot of intertwining stories here. You got Kyle's story with the Undisputed Kingdom, Orange Cassidy's with Trent, Chris with Willow Nightingale. So it's going to be all probably leading up to a blowout match between them. It's probably be Willow versus Chris and Trent versus Cassidy. I'm still waiting for that tag match. We get Rey Fenix. He does an interview. Now, Alexander Huntis last week was taken out during that 4-way match. And so he was not here. And this really wasn't an interview. It was just Renee Paquette talking about, I guess, what Rey Fenix told her. Now, I feel like Rey Fenix speaks enough English where he could possibly have done the interview. Yeah, I think he speaks more English than Penta, Cero Miedo. So I'm not sure why they just have Renee talk to him. But I guess maybe like it would have worked better with Alex and Brontes, but he's selling his injuries. You think it needs to end? Okay. It'll end eventually, just not anytime soon. Christopher Daniels tells us that we're going to have eliminator matches next week. We don't know. I don't think they said who's facing Okada, but the Acclaim are facing the Bucks, and everyone's going to be banned from ringside. So, and if they win, they get title matches. Do I think the Acclaim's going to beat the Bucks? The way things are going, I don't think they are. I don't think that they're going to win these eliminator matches. I think somehow, some way, the Elite are going to win their matches. And then, again, the big blowout's going to happen at Blood and Guts. So, but just because everyone's banned from ringside doesn't mean the EVPs don't have tricks up their sleeve. We get Samoa Joe and Hook versus a Premier Athletes. I was not a huge fan of this. I just felt like this match was just okay. But, like, why are they pairing up Samoa Joe and Hook? Like, Hook is past the point where he doesn't need mentorship anymore. Just not a huge fan of this. Felt like a Rampage match. It kind of did. You could have put this on Rampage. You get a TBS title match as Mercedes Monè versus how do you say it? Zeuxis. Now this was a great match. I've actually never seen Zeuxis before. I've never seen her wrestle. I didn't know much about her. I don't watch Lucha Libre. I don't watch Libra. I don't watch CMLL. So this is my first time seeing her. She was great. Like, this was a good match. I enjoyed it. I definitely would like to see her come around AEW more. This was a TBS title match, but I felt like it made it obvious that Mercedes Monè was going to win this because there was no way she was going to lose before Forbidden Door. But one of my favorite spots in this match was that double underhook into a lunge blower that Zeuxis did to Mercedes Monè. I thought that was a really cool spot. But have you guys seen Zeuxis wrestle before? If you have, let me know in the comment section down below or in the live chat. I thought this was great. We get a Mina Shirakawa. I cannot say her last name. But we get a video package about her. And I actually really like this video package because for a lot of people that don't know her, it was a great way to introduce her to them, especially like if they don't watch Dynamite consistently and you don't know who she is. This was great. This was a great video package. I like it when they do video packages like this. What's TKC? What's CMML? I honestly don't know. Now so this leads into a Toni Storm interview, and Mariah May basically, thanked her for putting her in the Owen Hart tournament, and she's gonna be the moderator between a contract signing with Mina and Toni Storm. That's not gonna end well. As we all know, contract signings, celebrations, weddings always end in total disaster. But the interesting thing here is, who is Mariah May gonna side with? Toni Storm or her former tag team partner? Now, they say that Mariah May's storyline with Toni Storm is based on All About Eve. And so that tells me that probably Mariah May is going to win the Owen Hart tournament and challenge Toni Storm at All In. And she's probably going to win that title. Because that's how the movie plays out. Well, the actress, I forgot who plays the younger actress, but she takes the lead role from Betty Davis's character. So it's going to be interesting to see. I'm actually pretty curious to see how this match plays out because Mariah May is definitely going to play a factor in that match. So we get the Learning Tree TV time segment. I was not a huge fan of this. Like Chris Jericho is just like talking like in an annoying way. I get it. Like he's trying to like teach people stuff. Like he was the Learning Tree needs to stay off TV. It's absolutely awful. And Chris Jericho is going to be coming off obnoxious and terrible. Hi guys. Yeah, he's all like saying hi. I need to see Mariah more serious if she's an actual threat. She's actually a good wrestler. But yeah, you do have a point. Can she be an actual threat to Toni Storm? Yeah, I was just not a huge fan of this TV time segment. I'm not a huge fan of this whole Learning Tree thing that Chris Jericho's got going on here. Jericho is a mix of Bray Wyatt's Firefly, Funhouse, and Eugene. Really? I don't see it. So this whole thing, he was like teaching. He invited Private Party to Learning Tree, to TV time last week. And he was going to show him how to climb the top rope here. And Pirate Party attacked him. I'm not sure if they're supposed to be the faces here, but I was just not digging this. I was not into this at all. Poor Morrissey and Keith. Yeah. I just feel like this is not doing any favors for W. Morrissey or for Brian Keith. I mean, W. Morrissey, if booked correctly, could be a main eventer. And y'all wonder why Mike Santana left. Yeah. Like W. Morrissey or Big Bill as he's now known, he can talk. And like I said, with good booking, has potential to be a main eventer in AEW. But this is not working for him. I get why they put him in here. And I've said it before. I'll explain it again. Big Bill, when he was in TNA, and you do with Brian Myers, who had his own learning tree, the most professional learning tree, And he once had a 1 versus 8 handicap match against 8 members of the Learning Tree, and he won. So I guess it's supposed to be some kind of a joke with Big Bill being part of Chris Jericho's Learning Tree because of his feud with Brian Myers' Learning Tree. But I'm not digging this at all. I know some people like it. I'm just not a huge fan of this. So we're gonna Bang Bang Gang segment, and they're basically like making fun of House of Black because you guys know they turned the lights on and off, and that's what they did during this segment. They turned the lights on and off, and it seems like they're challenging House of Black to a match on Collision. Should be a good match. Now we get, and whoever likes to have their heads examined. So you get Daniel Garcia versus Nick Comoroto. First of all, we haven't seen Nick Comoroto in who knows how long. I didn't even recognize him. I thought it was some random jobber, but I didn't realize that he cut his hair. You guys remember he had that big head of hair? Will Ospreay was watching backstage. MJF was watching backstage. I was not a huge fan of this. This was basically, I guess you can say, an enhancement match. Like Daniel Garcia won in quick fashion. This did nothing for Nick Comoroto. Why did this match even happen? Like, it's just not digging this. He started dancing on the barricade. I guess they probably did this because they probably didn't want to do like 2 jobber matches. Like, you could have just put this episode. You could put this match on Rampage. Will Ospreay gets interviewed backstage, and he's basically just talking about how he wants to deliver on his match against Rey Fenix, which just ended up being the main event. He's going to hand the contract to Swerve Strickland. You guys remember last week, Swerve Strickland ordered Prince Nana to send Will Ospreay the contract. My friend will be happy to hear that Comoroto was his favorite in the factory. Cool. So I really dug this Pac promo. He's just basically talking. It kind of reminded me of Bryan Danielson's, how he was talking about how his final year in AEW wasn't going well. Pac here was talking about how what a triumphant return, the loss after loss and failure after failure. But basically, the whole point of this is he's also entering the Owen Hart Cup, and he's going to go claim his AEW title opportunity at Wembley Stadium, because he will be damned if a talent of his caliber doesn't win the most prestigious prize in the industry and he doesn't get his moment in Wembley. I didn't like Garcia beating Comoroto quick. Dude is bigger than him. That is true. Very true. And he basically says that they haven't forgotten what the Bang Bang Egg did to them, and they don't forget. So I really dug this promo, but now it makes the men's Owen Hart Cup much more interesting. You got Bryan Danielson, you got Pac in there. I cannot wait for this tournament to start and see who else is in there. We get the international title matches: Will Ospreay versus Rey Fenix. This was a freaking great match. I really enjoyed this main event. I think some of my favorite spots were when Will Ospreay, when Rey Fenix did the Hurricanrana to Will Ospreay from the top rope, but he landed on his feet. And then Will Ospreay did the DDT to Rey Fenix, but he got up. So I thought those were really cool spots. And then Will Ospreay's jaw dropped. He was like, what? And, so Strickland and Prince Nana were watching from the crowd. And another spot that I like, let me see. If she becomes a free agent, Natalya needs to be in the Owen Cup. I do agree. Ospreay Fenix, they did. And another spot that I like was the ending. It was the finish to this match. So Will Ospreay looked over at Swerve Strickland, who was sitting in the crowd, as he did the Swerve Stomp and then the hidden blade to Rey Fenix. So he was using Swerve Strickland's own move on Rey Fenix. And I want to see Swerve Strickland hit like the hidden blade or the ox cutter to Will Ospreay himself. I think that's going to be like them using each other's finishers. I think it's going to be epic. So Will Ospreay wins this. And then like at the end, him and Swerve Strickland have like this moment in the ring where Swerve Strickland is yelling at Will Ospreay he's not strong enough to hold both titles, and like Ospreay snatches that title and puts it over his shoulders. And Swerve Strickland basically tells him he's lucky that they're friends because anybody else who did that, he will put them in their grave. So I'm very curious to see how this match is going to end. Like, are we going to have Swerve Strickland versus Will Ospreay 2 at Wembley? Are we going to have, possibly Bryan Danielson versus Will Ospreay at Wembley? Because the interesting thing is the Owen Hart Cup. Like, whoever wins that is going to go on to Wembley Stadium and face a champion. Which kind of leads me to believe that Will Ospreay is going to beat Swerve Strickland. Because if the Owen Hart Cup is starting, I don't think Will Ospreay is going to be a part of that. So whoever would win the men's would either face Will Ospreay or Swerve Strickland. And then if it's not Ospreay, what's Ospreay going to be doing? I think that it might be Will Ospreay. But who knows? I guess we'll find out at Forbidden Door. Who do you guys think is going to be champion at All In? Will Ospreay or Swerve Strickland? Let me know in the live chat or in the comment section down below. Okay, so with that being said, you guys, thank you guys all so much for watching and for the continuous support. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell so you get notified whenever I go live or release a new video. And if you guys like TNA, I will see you guys let me see. AEW Dynamite tonight was at Des Moines, Iowa, the city where I was born. I'm glad now I need 8 in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Oh, okay, cool. You give it a 3? Oh, I forgot to rank the show. On a scale from a 1 to a Sean Spears perfect 10, I say this was a 6. I had a lot of great matches that I enjoyed, but it just was a mid-show, I thought. I did not need the Learning Tree segment. Daniel Garcia's match, you could have put that on Rampage. Bruce's match, you could have put that on Rampage too. That's just my opinion. But for all things TNA, you can check me out tomorrow on Body Slam as me and Bert will be reviewing TNA Impact, which is a go-home show, 2 Against All Odds. And then on Friday, he and I should also be reviewing Against All Odds on Body Slam. So I will not be covering Friday Night SmackDown this week. So if I don't see you guys tomorrow on Body Slam for TNA Impact, then I'll see you guys here. Actually, for Clash of Castle, if I do a review, it's going to be late, like at this time. So if I don't see you guys Saturday for Clash of Castle, I'll see you guys Monday after all. Have a great night. Bye.